Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. I'm going to give a few minutes for some people to come in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Sunday morning inspiration. Yep. Sunday morning inspiration. I have not been on here in a minute. Um, so, but we gonna do this. We gonna do it. Um, uh, I kind of shied away from doing morning inspiration um, for a couple of reasons. Um, but before we get into that, we'll definitely uh, want to say hello to everybody that comes in. We want to say good morning. Um, and once you come in, even if you're in the bushes, please thumbs up the live for me. And Coco Ethnic Eats, thank you for coming in. I hope you're able to stay because hopefully some things will be said that'll be encouraging. Um, and if you don't mind, share this video out because I think uh, we'll say some things that will kind of shine some light on some things and help all of us, myself as well. Um, but like I was saying, I kind of just wanted to get back in the groove of uh, doing inspiration uh, broadcasts. Um, and I think it's very important um, for it to continue. Um, but I want to welcome everybody in. Like I said, everybody that's coming in, everybody that's in, welcome in. I hope everybody can hear me. Um, and for those that can stay, I hope you are blessed by the words that said. And I pray that you do not look at me, but the message, um, and that you will receive it in a glorious way that God is glorified, not me, not myself, because I'm only human. I have my own issues, just like everybody else have their own issues. No, nobody is perfect, but it's our imperfections that God is trying to use of us to get His glory. And if we allow Him um, to use us for His glory, then a whole lot can be accomplished. A whole lot of people can be helped. Um, so we definitely want to continue doing so. So, but like I said, once again, thank everybody for coming in. People that's coming in. I know what I do is not um, a a huge. I'm aware that it's not popular. Okay, it's not the first thing that people want to support or jump on. But it's not about that. It's about even if one person is helped, even if it's one person that is uh is able to receive something from it, that is what God is uh rejoicing over. That's what the angels in heaven is rejoicing over. And we have to understand it. We definitely have to understand it. Um And so I wanted to let you guys know I did, and I apologize to the people. I was doing a lot of videos and Saturday and Sunday inspiration videos, and include my wife would ask me sometimes, say, "Why did you not do it?" Or "Why won't you do a video?" And if you guys want to support the channel, you can do so by super chat or cash app. We have to throw that out there now because we definitely trying to grow the channel even more. But I will say this, and I must admit, um, when doing things and pouring your yourself out to people, spiritually, you can get spiritually drained. You can get spiritually drained. It becomes um, it becomes really stressful. It may look like it's not stressful, but it becomes stressful, and it kind of tends to push you away from it. And me myself, I must admit that I shied away from it, um, due to um, just seeing different things and hearing different things. Um, but I know that that's going to happen. I know that people will um, try and discredit you, try to discourage you, um, or try to hinder you, especially when you're trying to do something that's pleasing in the sight of God. Hey, Sharice, thank you for popping in. CJ and Sharice. But better yet, even if we are discouraged, if 100 people don't want to hear what's being said, and if it's of God, and if it's in God's name, even if you got one person that wants to hear it, you continue to do what you're doing. You continue to do what you supposed to do, because that one person that is being helped is far more than not doing what God called you to do or wants you to do. I mean, I'm telling you, because see, when you're not doing what your purpose of what God has called you to do, then you are putting your own self in a bad position. You're not helping someone else. You're not allowing the gift that God is giving you and your purpose to be served. And I shied away from it. I really did, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I really did. I would dodge it. I would not do it. Um, I would have my focus on something else. And it really, I it's like I can tell the difference in my spirit. I can tell the difference in my spirit when I'm not doing what I need to be doing. When I'm not doing what I need to be doing. And so, and that kind of takes me and brings us to um what my topic is, you know, knowing when to speak. So, and we gonna get off into that. And um I think all of us can relate to that, is knowing when to speak. Uh and that's very important. Uh very, very important. Um because a lot of us just don't know when to speak. And when I say speak, it's not saying, hey, hello, how you doing? I'm not saying that. A lot of us don't know when to speak because we talk too much. A lot of times we're talking things that we're talking just to hear ourselves talk. We're talking out of anger. We're talking out of being messy. Um, and we're talking out of frustration. When sometimes, or a lot of times, we need to just be quiet and listen. we tend to want to get involved with things and throw our opinions because we are so opinionated, and we want to involve ourselves just to feel relevant. So therefore, it puts us in a position where we begin to say things and speak things that we should not be saying at all. And once it have backlash, we then have to speak even more of things that we should not be speaking. Why? Because we want to prove that I'm big, I'm bad, I'm a tough guy. I ain't scared to say what I said. I said it. I said it. But I'm gonna tell you something. All because you said it does not mean it's right. All because you said it does not mean you should have said it. Speaking out of turn can cost your life, and it can cost you blessings. It can cost you somebody else's life. And we as a people, as adults, we wrap our mind around, since we are grown, I can say what I want to say, when I want to say it, and how I want to say it. And a lot of us believe that. A lot of us feel that way, including myself. We all have been guilty of that. I want to say what I want to say. I'm gonna say it because I want to say it. And it's another way of us omitting being quiet. We don't want to listen. We throw ourselves in other people's mess, and we get involved with things that we have no business involved with. We speak on people's relationships or problems that we have no business even speaking on, just to try to make ourselves relevant, when the whole time it's totally irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. I've come to grips with understanding that when you tend to try to back away or shy away from putting your opinion or being so opinionated in everybody's business, or in certain situations, you tend to lose people that you thought really was true friends. You tend to lose support of relatives. You tend to lose support of loved ones. And it happens. We have loved ones that's so opinionated that speaks when they should not be speaking. We have friends that feel like, since they are being messy, you should be messy. They will bring mess to you. And you'll sit there and you'll allow yourself to be tied up in it as well. But I'm here to tell you today, this very day, it's time out for us being so opinionated and speaking out of turn, and learn to know when to speak. If we learn to know when to speak, we won't talk so much. We won't get involved with somebody's business that we ain't got no business being involved with. I don't care how much you want to put your mouth in somebody else's business or put your mouth on somebody else. Try being quiet and listen. Because see, if you listen, then you will allow yourself to hear when God is trying to speak to you. And a lot of times when it's mess, if you will just listen, you can hear that soft voice telling you, be quiet. Be quiet. It has nothing to do with you. Be quiet. Be quiet. It has nothing to do with you, TJ. Be quiet. But oh, we itching so bad because we want to hear, we want to put our opinion in it. So we can get an applause from somebody. Say it. You right. You right. You may be right to the people that wants to hear mess. But we're so wrong in God's eyes. And this right here is fixing to get you. This right here is about to get you. People will talk about you just to bait you, to get you to speak out of turn. What you mean, TJ? People will say things even about you or somebody close to you just to get you to speak out of turn. This is for somebody. This is for somebody. I don't know who it's for, but this is for somebody. People will talk or start a conversation about you or say it to somebody else that it will get to you to criticize you or what you're doing just to get you to say something. Yeah, it happens. And see, if we're not very careful, we will not be able to identify that it's a hook or a bait on a hook of the devil that's trying to get us to speak out of turn. That's trying to get us to speak so our words can be twisted and trying to get us to say things that we should not be saying. So therefore, once you say what you've said, you can't retract it. You can't take it back. So once it goes out, at that point, then somebody has caught it. You know how people put things on the internet or social media. Before they can retract it or delete it, somebody has screenshot it. And moving forward from that point, it goes viral. Once it goes viral, it then has become a complete mess. It has become a complete disaster at that point. And now people are trying to retract that situation by trying to explain why it happened. But it's too late then because you move too fast. But see, even when people are talking about you or when people are trying to bait you into a situation that they are trying to get you to interact in, if you would just be quiet. If you, no matter how bad you want to speak, some people may be saying, you know what? If you speak on me, I'm going to speak back. But sometimes we need to allow God to speak back for us. Y'all, you know what? Y'all ain't understanding what I'm saying. Y'all, and see, I know a lot of you probably ain't even trying to hear it because we grown. We grown. So we ain't trying to hear. You can't tell me nothing. We grown. You can't tell me nothing. I do what I want to do. I don't care what you say. I do what I want to do. And that's fine. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But you also understand when you fail to listen, you understand that you deal with the consequences that come behind it. You deal with the consequences that come behind it. But when you listen and you obey that soft voice that's telling you, be quiet. Listen, let me fight your battles. Let me speak for you. Because see, when people are trying to bait you into a situation, when they've talked about you and you've heard somebody say, oh, such and such said this about you. I mean, you got to understand how it's coming to you now. You got to understand how it's coming now. Because see, what's done happened is that hook is being baited by that person that's bringing it to you. Okay? Listen at me. That hook is being baited with the person that's bringing it to you, because they know they can say it to that person that talks to you. Therefore, they're going to bring the mess to you just to see what you're going to say. But if you be quiet and know when to speak, and when knowing when to speak, when God sometimes is speaking to you, meaning I'm going to speak in silence. I'm going to speak in silence. Well, you thought you was going to get something out of me. You didn't get what you thought you was going to get. You didn't get what you thought you was going to get. And then when we do speak, and if you allow God to speak through you, he gives you the right words to say. Because see, one thing you do have to also understand is when we abide by the word of God, he ain't going to stray us in the wrong direction. He is not going to steer us in the wrong direction. He is not going to lead us in the wrong direction. I don't care what nobody say. He's not going to do it. He going to guide us. And you have to also understand, God is part of no confusion. He's not the art of confusion or problems. Now, on the other hand, the devil don't mind. I don't care how good they look. I don't care how smart they are. I don't care how well you know them. The devil will use anybody that's allowed him to use them. But one thing it is, if we just be quiet and know when to speak. Know when to speak. That's all we got to do. And if you get a chance, read what I've put in my description box. Read it. Because see, one thing about it is, if you go when God tells you to go, and see that, I'm gonna tell you something else. One thing too, we so quick to jump in folks' business and run our mouth when we should not be running our mouth, or we talking about what we should not be talking about, or we involving ourselves in things we should not be involving ourselves in. But when we need to be talking, we don't want to talk. When we need to be speaking up, we don't want to speak up. We don't know what to say now. We don't want to be involved. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna just be honest with you. One thing I've learned, when it comes to mess, you got everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, that wants to be part of it when it comes to mess. But when it comes to anything that's pertaining to the word of God, all of a sudden it becomes offensive. All of a sudden, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't want to be part of it. I'd rather just leave that alone. A lot of times we are so shied back from it. One reason why we're so shied back from it is because, y'all excuse me, my phone was getting hot. One reason why we want to shy back from it is because we don't want God to show us ourselves. We don't want God to show us who we are. Because, see, once he began to show us who we are and what we've been saying, then we finally see that we've been speaking out of turn. We've been speaking things that we should not have been speaking. See, y'all, this was crazy. This was crazy. What is that? Wow. Wow. Can y'all see me? Can y'all still see me? Can anybody see me? Anybody see me? Hear me? Anybody hear me? Man, I kid you not. This phone ain't never did that. It ain't never did that. All of a sudden, as soon as I said what I said, all of a sudden, it completely just it it went crazy. It all of a sudden just stopped, shut down. Then Janetta, when you went to trying to call, all of a sudden it just went to it was just going berserk. I mean, the only app I could not open back up or get on was YouTube just then. I could not get back on my live. I could get on every other app just then, but I could not get back on here. It kept kicking me out. It kept kicking me back out. And see, that's why I say it's so discouraging, man. Sometimes it does get. This is the things that when you are trying to do the right thing and do things for the Lord, I'm telling you, it's a fight. It's a fight. It's not easy. I try to tell you, man, it's not easy. It's not easy by no means. By no means necessary. It's not easy. It's not easy. Because see, for one, the devil don't want the truth to be told. He don't want nobody being helped. He doesn't. And it's wow. Wow. I don't I don't know, man. It blows my mind sometimes, man. It blows my mind sometimes how things like this will happen. My phone been okay all day, but then when I began to do this, it wow, wow. And it'll just make you mad. I mean, I'm serious. It makes you mad. It makes you mad. Um, but you still have to give God the glory because when things like this happen, that lets you know you're doing something right. That lets you know that you are doing something right because the devil is his main objective is to cut it loose, to interrupt it, to stop it, to discourage you so you won't continue to do it. That's what his motive is all about. Is to cause things to happen. So therefore, but at the same time, it could not have happened unless God didn't allow it to happen. Working on me, working on what I'm just talking about, what I deal with is frustration. Frustration. And it's tough. It's tough. It's really tough. Mm, wow. 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 This is crazy. I it's a challenge, but I guess my wife would probably say I can see the frustration on your face. It is. It's really frustrating because it's like you want God to help you, but you know you got to go through something in order for him to help you. He's going to work on those areas by allowing you to go through things so you can learn how to overcome them and not be easily destroyed or distracted or discouraged. And he's still working on me, y'all. He is. By no means am I perfect. He's still working on me, and I'm human too. But it's frustrating. I hadn't been on here in a while, and I get back on, and stuff like that happen. Um, and it is what it is. It is what it is. So, um, but you know what? We still got to know when to speak. Still got to know when to speak. And like I said before, Lord help me, when it comes to mess and other things that we surround ourselves with, we have no problem getting involved with things such as that. We have no problem with it. But once it is pertaining to God and the Word of God or anything inspirational or spiritual, we suddenly have nothing to say or we don't want to have part of it because we feel that we will offend somebody. We feel we have nothing to say. We feel we have nothing to offer at that point. Is it that spiritually reason why you don't have nothing to offer? Is it because you are empty spiritually? You are spiritually empty. You are spiritually dehydrated. You have spiritually drowned it. Is that the case? That may just be the case. Because see, if you find someone that keeps mess going on all the time, they are keeping their spirit filled with mess. So therefore, when mess come about or come up, they're ready for it. So in our spirit, if we do not keep ourselves in tune with God, we wouldn't know what to say. We wouldn't know what to do. It's what we prepare ourselves for. It's what we prepare ourselves for, to know when to react, when to speak. Because see, if we as a people, if we start listening to God, listening to his voice, he'll speak for us. He'll give us the things to say. He'll give us the things to say. And believe it or not, once he give us the things to say, those same people that may have been talking about you, God will make them your footstool, meaning your enemies your footstool. And he'll do it. He will do it. And a lot of things too, a lot of times when, if we allow God to speak through us, or even allow God to speak to us, we can receive so many more blessings, or be able to bless somebody by just the things that we say, if we allow God to speak through us. Be quiet and listen. Know when to speak. Knowing when to speak is very important. Knowing when to speak is very important. Don't speak out of self. It's easy for us to do that. I promise you, it's so easy for us to speak out of self. It really is. It's easy for us to do that. It ain't. I mean, we can easily speak, out of being mad, and say we want to prove a point, we want to tell somebody off, or we want to get somebody told, or we want to give somebody a piece of our mind. I mean, you got to understand, the mind is the devil's workshop. You can lose your mind at any given moment. So your mind ain't always a good thing. It is not always a good thing. The devil deals with your mind all the time, but God deals with the heart. God deals with your heart. And whatever it is in your heart that if you allow God to deal with your heart, then it helps to control your mind. But we want to be so quick to give people a piece of our mind and speaking out of turn, because we want to look as if we're intimidating somebody, because we feel that we can speak what we're speaking. And the whole time we're hurting ourselves. The entire time we're hurting ourselves. Big shout out to who's ever in here. I do apologize for what happened. Um, and for those that left, I want to appreciate them that was in here. Um, the ones that's still in here, the ones that's in the bushes. Thank you guys for coming in. Please give a thumbs up on the live if you're in here. I really do apologize for the sudden cutout. That's all I can really say. I don't know why it happened, but it happened. Um, but you know, maybe it happened for a reason. Maybe somebody was in here that God didn't want to be in here. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes that God can allow things to happen to fix it for us that we didn't know why it happened. And I'm gonna be honest with you. God can fix things, man, in ways. God is very clever. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. We don't know what he's doing, but he's working it out for our good. But we don't see it, but we'll understand it by and by. I promise you. If we just listen, we'll soon understand it. So we have to give ourselves opportunity to understand it. How many people still in here? I see 4 people still remaining in here. I know Janetta is one of them. I'm not sure who all is in here, still in here. Um, thank y'all so much for being in here. Thumbs up if you're in here, or even if you're in the bushes. Please thumbs it up for me. Janetta's still in here. Thank you for being in here. I hope I did not show frustration too bad on my face. Sharice is still in here. And you know what I really want to do? My whole point of it is my main goal is to get more men into this live. To get more men active into a live. That's my goal. And if we as men don't understand that we are the weakest link spiritually, we as men has become the weakest link spiritually, and our women are trying to get closer to God. We as men. And the women are praying and praying and praying. And men, we as men are falling further and further back. Because it's scary. It is so scary. It is so scary. And we're losing. We're losing the battle. We're losing men. Because men, we don't want to resume that responsibility spiritually. What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? We can lead every other way, but in a spiritual way of God. We don't want to do nothing. We can go along and approve and agree with everything else, but when it comes to God, we have such a problem. And we are losing it. And then we wonder why our generation is falling apart. Our men is falling apart. Men, we as men are falling apart. We're getting away from God, and we're getting closer with packs and cliques and our friends, and getting away from God. And it's hurting us bad. We're losing it. We're not educating ourselves with the word of God at all. We're not feeding our spirit at all. It seems as if just about it, we are so ashamed. We're so ashamed. And it makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. Why are we ashamed? Why? Why do we want to hold back? Why are we so afraid of allowing God to use us? Why? And I'm speaking on men. I'm not look, I'm a man. Why are we so why is it so difficult for us to allow God to use us? Why? And see, I don't get no answers because men don't want to chime in with anything spiritual, anything that's related to God. We want to question God of his word. We'll do that because we want to maintain our masculine, and we want to maintain our aggressiveness and knowledge of our own. And we don't want to believe the true word of God. But we can question it, but we don't want to believe it. But we can believe everything else. We can believe everything else of the world. We can believe it, and we'll go along with it. But once it comes to the Lord, suddenly our men is crumbling. If you go to your average church, and let me say this real quick. That's one reason why we don't have a lot of men speaking up, is because they don't know when to speak. And the reason why they don't know when to speak is because they don't know how to speak. And when I say knowing how to speak, meaning being directed by God, listening to God. We don't know when to speak because we have so got out of touch with God. We have muted ourselves to God as men, but yet we have come in tune with everything else because we want to hear everything else, and we're losing it, or we have lost it. And as we begin to lose that, we lose connection with everything else around us. Believe it or not, we're losing connection. God created us. And let me go all the way back. God created us. Don't you think if God created us, then he should know what we need? He should know what to do for us. But we have become so smart and intelligent as men to the point where we know how to outsmart God. We know what to do more than God do. We know what to say more than God do. But I created you. I created you. You know what? It kind of reminds me, and I know I'm going to step on some toes when I say this. It kind of reminds me of people, how we say that parents should give children all this leeway now. Give them a voice. Parents, we birthed them. into the world. We know what they need. God hears us. And as parents, we should hear our children. But we don't allow our children to run things. But parents have gotten into the point now they are allowing children to control everything. And that's how we're trying to do God. That's what we're trying to do with God now. God created us. But as we have grown, we feel that we should have a voice over God. Children feel that they should have a voice over parents. It's not about what God say no more. It's about what makes us feel good. It's not about what your parents say. It's about what makes that child feel good. But God is holding us responsible for all of that. He's holding us responsible. And one main problem is we don't have enough men standing up in a spiritual way, not just as men, in a spiritual way of leading families to God. How can you lead your family if you are not spiritually inclined and in tune with the word of God? I don't care what you say, like it or not. I don't care if you don't like what I'm saying. You cannot be a leader of your family if you do not have God as your leader. If you are not in tune with the Lord, how can you expect somebody to follow your leadership? How can you expect somebody to follow your leadership? I don't care if you like it or not, what I'm saying. It's just the truth. It's the truth. And the truth hurts. If you go along to get along, well, you expect what you get. You expect what goes on. Don't complain about what goes on. And some people, as men, we as men, sometimes we'll allow so much to go on in our homes. We are so scared to speak up because we don't have a voice. We don't have a voice because why? We don't know how to control things in our home in a spiritual way. Spiritual way. And I'm not saying more holier than thou, meaning basically leading by example, keeping things in tune with the Lord. You can't expect your family to follow you or you be the leader of your family if you're not standing on God. You cannot. I don't care what you say. You cannot. And if you feel that that's what keeps your home peaceful by you allowing anything and everything to go on, so be it. So be it. So be it. But there's going to come a day. There's going to come a time that you're going to wish. But you hope that it's not too late. You hope that it's not too late. And I promise you, and I know I got somebody listening that may be questioning it. I know I do. But listen, We as men need to step up to the plate and know when to speak. In Christ. Not just as men, working men, or provider men. Look, it's easy for us to provide. People, you got men that provide well for their families, but have no clue spiritually how to lead their family to God, or how to lead their family spiritually, or how to have a spiritual conversation with their family. You have men that's like that. You have men that don't even want to have conversations like that. You have that. But look at a lot of our young youth, our young men. Look at what they're turning to, because we don't have men enough to want to pull together spiritually. I'm just saying. Y'all don't want to hear. Y'all ain't trying to hear what I'm saying, man. Um, y'all ain't trying to hear it. I know it's stepping on toes, and it's okay. It's okay. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When you're dealing, when you're trying to do it of God and you're trying to do it the right way, it's not easy. You're gonna be hurt. You're gonna be having to make some sacrifices. You're gonna deal with things that's gonna come against you. Even your own family sometime will go against you, meaning in your own home. Because see, you gotta understand, as a man trying to do things right and in a spiritual way, you gonna have the devil that's gonna use anybody that allows him to use them to do again or come against you. But you gotta understand, you stand on God. You continue to stand on God. And when you speak, you allow God to speak through you. Know when to speak. That's including myself, man. Know when to speak. And we all fall in the same boat sometimes. We just get to running off at the mouth. Don't know when to shut up. Don't know when to shut up. We just talk because we feel like we intimidating somebody, or we feel like we can say what we want to say or do what we want to do, and we feel that we are getting our voice out there. No, no. We have to allow God to speak through us, y'all. Allow God to speak through us. Allow him to speak through us. Know when to speak, y'all. Know when to speak. Don't get involved with things that has nothing to do with you. Watch those that bring things to you just to try to bait you to get involved with things that is totally irrelevant to you. Know when to speak. And I'm going to tell you something. And this is just what I was talking about just in general, life. But especially YouTube have come to find out is one of the most messiest platforms ever created. Ever created. And people wonder why I harp so much on God. Because why? I gotta try to protect. We involved with it, and sometimes it make me want to basically get away from it. I'm being honest with you. But yet it can be used for a good thing. It can be used for a good thing, such as this. But it got its messiest, nastiest, gossiping is. I mean, it's orchestrated to become one of the most, I mean, biggest monsters I've ever come across when you get involved with it. With people that just, I mean, it's nasty. And some of y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all thumbs up live for me if y'all in here, whatever. But it's It's nasty. It's nasty, nasty. I mean, I tell you, it can be really bad. It can be really, really bad, y'all. It can be really bad. But we have to be careful. Be careful of those that come running to you. Just watch. Be watchful. Know when to speak, y'all. Know when to involve yourself with things. But the only way you'll know how to do that is stay in tune with the Lord. Stay in tune with God. Allow God to speak to you and protect you because He'll do it. I promise you He will. I promise you He will. Things that ain't got nothing to do with you. Sometimes you shouldn't even listen at it. Sometimes you shouldn't even listen at it, y'all. Don't even listen at it. Let it go. Let it go. Don't even worry about it. Let it go. If you know a person is calling you, oh, what did I just do? I don't know what I just done, y'all. I just mashed something. And it got me way up. Y'all see this? This is crazy. Now y'all got a close up on me. I don't know how in the world it got that big of a close up on me. Y'all, I tell you, I don't know what it did. It just, okay. There you go. My bad. It had y'all all up in here. I didn't want y'all all up in here. I'm glad I didn't have no kind of nothing on my face or in my eyes and nothing like that. Cause y'all was all up in here. All up in here. But but I appreciate y'all being in here, man. Hanging out with me. For those that stayed in here, came back, or the ones that y'all thumbs up live. We have people coming in, going out. I appreciate you for coming in, though. I really do. Some good people that support this channel. But you guys gonna see more. Yeah, you need to understand that, Janetta. Be careful of people carrying the bone. I'm telling you. We say that, but we need to acknowledge that. We need to know this. We need to really know this. We need to know this. And when we see the person carrying the bone, bringing the bone to us, that's when we need to stop it right there. Sometimes it means not even answering your phone, text message, or if you see them walking towards you, you turn and go the other way because you know. You know. You know. Just leave it alone. Leave mess alone. I tell my wife sometimes, man, leave that mess alone. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Ain't got nothing to do with you. I even tell myself sometimes, I'm like, man, don't even listen at it. Don't even listen at it. It ain't worth listening at. You know, it ain't worth listening at. Just go on about your business. You know, Sharice, I really do appreciate you hanging out, man. I apologize for the mishaps on the video, video. I do apologize for what happened. But I appreciate the ones that came in, the ones that did not come in. I appreciate them as well. Um, it is what it is. We all facing life, and dealing with life, we got to know when and when not to speak, because sometimes we can speak a little bit too much, and it gets us in a mess that we can't get out of. And so, and that's the honest God truth. Or it puts us involved with things that we had no intentions of being involved with, but it will put us in a situation that we should not ever have been involved with if we are not careful of the things that we speak, or if we're speaking too much, you know. So it will definitely do that. It will definitely put us in a bad position. So I encourage each one of you, include myself, Keep your mouth shut and listen. Just allow God. When I say listen, I'm talking about listening at God. I ain't say you have to sit there and listen at the mess. I'm talking about listening at God. If God is telling you, don't listen at it. Don't listen. Okay? Don't listen. Don't li Oh Lord. Jim, get out of here. I don't even know what you talking about. It ain't no hope for Rosa. You and Rosa, that I just I that that's you have to have extras for y'all. Y'all just I don't know what to say about y'all. Y'all just ooh, ain't nothing but the hands of God got to come down from heaven to help that situation. Prayer will change things, but I don't know what in crap. I don't know what gonna change. No, I'm just joking, man. I'm just having fun, y'all, and that's good when you know you can have fun with your family, your wife, your husband. If you can't have fun with them, you can't have fun with nobody. You got to be playful. Uh, and I'm gonna tell y'all something out. Y'all hearing uh, talk. Y'all hear me talk about uh, certain individuals, or if I mention certain individuals, I mention them because I know I can, and they know it's out of love. Um, because not everybody is able to take a joke. Not everybody is able to take uh, conversation. People are so quick to get offended. So um, you just got to know, like I said, once again, know when to speak and when not. As simple as that. Uh, but y'all, I hear, I hear. But anyway, y'all, um, I don't know who it helped. I don't know who uh, this was for, including myself. I know I even enjoy just hearing myself. I hear myself, um, and I take it into myself. I believe it or not, y'all. A lot of people they'll talk, but they don't even hear their own self. They to it's easy for people to give advice, but it's hard for them to take their own advice. Does that make sense? It's easy for people to give advice or to help somebody else, but they don't accept their own message toward themselves, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is. So, and I'm gonna tell y'all something on this too. Um, Never, anytime I do anything on this live, I can assure you, it's never ever intended for anybody to be offended. Now, if you get offended, am I mad? No, I mean, nope. It don't hurt my feelings. I mean, because see, the only way you'll get offended if it hits you, but it wasn't intentionally. But if it hits you, I mean, only thing we can say about things when it really hit us and it wasn't meant it if it ain't nobody directing it toward us. But the thing it is, we have to admit when something hit us. We have to admit it. And if we can admit it and take it with a grain of salt and allow it to help us, we can become a better person. We can become a better people. Because see, we'll get mad instead of saying, you know what, dang, that hit me. Because I've heard things, I'd be like, oh man, you got me on that one. You got me. That's me. I mean, my bad. I mean, that's me. But if we can't do that, man, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, but anyway, y'all, I guess we got 8 thumbs ups in here. So that'll do. That'll do. That'll be all right. Only thing that matter if someone was helped. That's the only thing that matters. So until the next time, y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. Um, the ones that's in here, thank y'all so much. And the ones that left, thank you so much. Uh, I think seen Coco Eats, she was in here as well. Um, I want to just say thank you to her for being in here and came in. Sharice, thank you guys so much for coming by. I saw you say you were braiding hair. Thank you so much. Janetta, thank you for popping in. She said Rosa was in here. Thank you, Rosa, for coming in. Miss Bonnie was in here as well. Thank you for coming in. And I think that's the only ones I know that did come in that made themselves known coming by. So I just want to appreciate y'all for supporting and coming in. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something else. You know how people can try to blackball you, and let me tell you how people try to blackball you. And I'm gonna encourage everybody on this right here. This is gonna help somebody, and I'm about to get off here. Be careful of who you try to blackball and who you try to hinder support. Be careful. Be careful who you try to blackball and try to hinder from being supported. Meaning basically you got people that will support only, say for instance, if I'm on the video. Now if it's me and my wife on here, you got people that'll only support my wife if I'm not on camera. Or you may have people that only support me if my wife is not on the camera. And it may be vice versa with you guys. You may have people that only support certain individuals. Within my household, it's one. We are all one. We are one. If you don't support, if you support me but not my wife, I don't need your support because you don't support us. If you support my wife but not me, and I think I'm speaking for her too, then you don't support us. She don't need your support. Because one thing you don't do is try to drive a wedge between a family. Or I support CJ, but I don't support Sharice. I support Sharice, but I don't support CJ. What we have to understand is, and we have to recognize that, you can't tell people who they can't support, but what you can do, you can put yourself in a position of showing I stand on what's right. And what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to allow mess or a messy action drive a wedge in between my family. And that's just the way it is. But you have to be careful when you're trying to blackball support of somebody else. And I've seen this throughout, and not with us, but I'm saying I've seen this throughout. And the thing it is, you can be hindering your own blessings by trying to set up a trap or downfall or hinder support for somebody else, all because of the way you feel. And you can be hindering your own blessing. Take that to you. All right? I'm finna get out of here, y'all. Y'all be good. We will holler at you guys later. Thank you, Janelle, for coming in. Whatever. We'll see you guys on the up and up. Make sure you guys don't forget to support In the Den podcast that we have established with myself and several other individuals. Also, be on the lookout for me and Tyler will open up. We will have our podcast going once we have established In the Den podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to All Things Janetta, which is my wife. Also, don't forget to subscribe to We Are Rolling channel if you have not subscribed to them. And also, don't forget to subscribe to Layla, Ivy, and Leilani's Clubhouse, New Beginning. And also TNK the Gamer. That is Tyler's um, uh, gaming channel as well. So I think that got them all, y'all. I think that got them all. So I think I'm gonna get off here, and I will, I will, I will. So until the next time, man. Sharice, y'all, thank y'all so much. Tell CJ I said what's up, um, and tell CJ I'm looking forward to hearing his solo at some point. I know he's still writing on his lyrics, so he getting his lyrics together. Um, and whenever he get all of his lyrics together, we'll get it together and do a debut. So we'll find out what's what. So so until the next time, guys, we got some more people that's coming in here. Y'all thumbs up the live, okay? If y'all want to support the channel, by Cash App or um, Super Chat. As a matter of fact, yeah, y'all need to be Cash Apping and Super Chatting for it, man. I got a big light bill got to be paid. Whew, Jesus. Oh. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, y'all, y'all gotta, y'all be good, man. I'm out of here, man. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.